conference, and that's where all of this started, where we first heard about what was known as the Battle of Bloemfontein, a plot to assassinate the president and senior leaders, to overthrow the government and to take over the government. And since then, it's been 11 months of trials. There were initially 7 suspects. That was whittled down to 4. One of those was recently had all charges withdrawn. Another is in for psychiatric evaluation. And that leaves, as you were saying, Mark Trollip and Johan Prinsloo as the 2 accused left at the moment. And after all the hunger strikes and the bail applications and the psychiatric evaluations, we're now down to what should be the start of the trial. You'll recall we had the same discussion last Monday, and the case was postponed because one of the accused, his legal team withdrew, and the next legal team had to catch up on what the case was all about before today when it's set to go ahead. So it hasn't started yet. We have a team in court at the moment, and yes, it's expected to go ahead. We're expected to see the actual nitty-gritty details of this so-called Battle of Bloemfontein, this plot, coming out.
Richard, tell us how this plot was uncovered and how these men then were arrested.
Well, what happened was, you'll recall, as I said, it was during the Mangaung elective conference in Bloemfontein. And there was a joint operation going on between the Hawks, crime intelligence, the police, that of course no one knew about. But there had been tip-offs that a group of men were planning to get hold of mortars and to attack the senior leaders of the ANC at the conference. And in a swoop in 3 different provinces, the police went out and in the same week arrested 7 people. It was a great shock. I mean, the security was very high at Mangaung, and everyone was talking about, was this possible? Could it happen? And the police acted very swiftly and came up with what they were told was this, the Slag van Bloemfontein, the Battle of Bloemfontein. As I say, a plan to assassinate top leaders and overthrow the government.
Richard, we've got pictures of the men, their first appearance or the appearance last week. We've got pictures running, and I'm just thinking of these men were on a hunger strike. I see them in court and they look quite big and burly. It wasn't a very successful hunger strike, was it?
Well, I think it was more to try and make a point than anything else. They wanted the trial to be sped along, if you like. I think fresh in everyone's minds is also the decade-long treason trial we've just seen the end of. This one shouldn't be anything like that. I don't think there's not as many people involved, and we don't expect it to drag out that long. But it's very, very serious charges. I mean, the pictures you're talking about, you can see security there is not half-baked security. That's serious security. Yeah. And when you're talking of charges like treason, conspiracy to commit acts of terrorism, various weapons and ammunition charges, it's serious stuff. It's not to be taken lightly.
Now, charges, there were 4 men initially, there are 2 left. Why were the charges withdrawn against Johan Prinsloo and I forget the name of the other accused?
Martin Kiwi is the other accused you're talking about. He was sent for psychiatric evaluation. He returned to court and there was a report that he was not fit to stand trial. The state were not happy with this and asked the court for Kiwi to be sent for a second observation, and he is currently as a patient of the state, as they call it, having this observation. And the investigation, I think the lack of evidence against Johan Prinsloo resulted in those charges being dropped, leaving Mark Trollip and Johan Prinsloo as the only 2 accused at this point, standing in the dock.
You mentioned earlier that they're only this small, so there no chance of any further arrests as this trial develops. These are the only accused that are left, are the 2 that are in the dock right now.
Well, these are the 2 of the original 7 that got arrested, but I don't think we can ever say this is it. I mean, information might come out implicating other people, and it's one of these trials where we'll have to keep a very close eye on it. As I say, the seriousness of the trial, and of course information may come out that may involve other people, other groups, other organizations, so we'll have to wait and see.
The Slag van Bloemfontein, we look forward to what comes out there today, Richard, but is there any other news coming out of the beautiful city of Roses today?